In the land down under, the sustainability of our healthcare system is in question. Rising health insurance premiums, combined with an ageing society and increasing disability rate, mean that the comfort of the Medicare system we take for granted may soon end. As Australia's healthcare expenditure is rising faster than CPI, we begin to ask some crucial questions regarding what we can do to make our healthcare system more sustainable for tomorrow. From the moment that we are born, we are immediate consumers of our healthcare system, but are we ever really educated about how to take true ownership of our own health? Unfortunately, education in its attempt to prepare students to become active citizens for tomorrow's workforce has often failed to educate students on taking responsibility for the most important decisions that they will ever have to make in their lives, that is, their health. Students are somehow expected to maneuver their way through health dilemmas by using limited research skills that they acquired during their secondary years of school. This is despite the fact that most educators are embarrassingly lagging behind their students when adopting new technologies. If we analyse the limited outcomes of the Australian Science and PDHPE curriculums, which deliver most health-related outcomes in our education system, it becomes clear that existing educational outcomes have no real explicit outcomes for creating health-literate citizens. Of course, these curriculums offer students many examples of diseases and health conditions in terms of their symptoms, treatments, and causes. Both curriculums also have outcomes related to achieving a healthy and balanced lifestyle while investigating lifestyle-related diseases. However, both curriculums poorly prepare students to navigate their way through Australia's medical system using critical research skills. In fact, for many Australians, effective healthcare outcomes often depend significantly on chance. The chance of finding the right remedy and healthcare professional in a timely manner differs from individual to individual, and considering the fears surrounding the sustainability of the Australian Medicare system, real questions must be asked regarding how effective our education system is in educating future health consumers on making effective medical decisions for both themselves and their dependents. For decades, policymakers and the mainstream media have reduced public discourse on our health system to sensationalised bickering on issues such as e-health or budget cuts, failing to capture the real cause of failure in our healthcare system. That is, inefficient access to quality information to empower patients and their carers to make more effective, timely decisions in order to maximise patient outcomes. Unfortunately, for a technologically rich society, we have few, if any, excuses to be trapped in this nightmare, as information access is always at our fingertips. Or is it? You see, patients, in order to access simple statistics and facts about any medical professional they hope to see, end up engaging in doctor shopping. And no, they don't get to take home any doctors, but they do get the big bills that follow. There are many other areas that the flow of information in the medical system is also inefficient. For example, Despite attending the latest medical conferences and networking, medical professionals do not always compare notes on how the success rate of their peers' surgeries fare compared to their own. Oh, and don't forget the fact that we don't actually explicitly teach students in the education system how to be effective and confident health consumers that can access timely health information. But of course, we do teach them other useful things that they will certainly use in their lives, such as algebra, trigonometry, and how to jump rope. Unfortunately, these are just a few examples of how the lack of efficient information flow leading to poor consumer awareness dooms the healthcare system that we all take for granted to failure, while undermining the foundation of our nation's wealth, its health. Yes, you thought I was going to say coal, right? It is essential that students in secondary and tertiary education become aware of how their education has actually failed to prepare them to make the most important decisions that they will ever have to make in their lives. Of course, having a great job is still wonderful, but try keeping one if you've just destroyed your health through ignorance. Yes, Centrelink, here we come. However, the type of information needed to make more effective decisions is essential information or quality information that will help empower you as a health consumer, rather than meaningless general health information offered by most health books. For example, knowing what knee replacement surgery is one thing, but being able to choose who will actually perform the surgery for you is an entirely different matter. One paradox health consumers face is the limited legal avenues should they suffer from medical negligence, medical errors, or a surgeon's incompetence in general. Ironically, healthcare consumers do not enjoy the same legal protection as employees, for example, and therefore they face significantly more legal obstacles if they believe that they have suffered from negligence or a failure to deliver adequate duty of care. Interesting enough, only 10% of medical negligence cases actually ever make it to court, with the other 90% dismissed. Now, most of these dismissed cases are actually brought forward by women. This highlights several key points. Firstly, that the number of unsatisfied health consumers is considerably higher than what we are actually led to believe. And secondly, that women tend to feel unjustly treated by medical professionals the most. Despite the fact that only a few medical negligence cases actually make it to a court hearing, we should not dismiss the number of cases dropped due to limitations on the period of time one has to sue and the significant burden of providing proof that the victim would not have otherwise suffered. Considering that the Medicare Nightmare can send women out of the Australian workforce faster than any economic downturn or government policy can, this exacerbates gender and social inequality in society, as well as our nation's healthcare expenditure. One book which discusses this crucial national issue is Medicare Nightmare, The Great Australian Tragedy by Dow Uber. This educational resource assesses the complexity of our medical system, especially its relationship with other government systems. It gives a clear message on the need for a more integrated approach towards our healthcare system by all key stakeholders, including those in education, government and business, while aiming to educate Australians on how to become more confident healthcare consumers. The dilemma referred to here as the Medicare Nightmare is not just a personal nightmare, but a national one as well, as poor information flow in our medical system and society results in increasing medical errors, escalating medical costs associated with improper medical care, rising health insurance premiums, and an overburdened medical system impacting on our national wealth and well-being. There are many overlooked issues in our medical system which plague its sustainability, and through simple observations of case studies from the many thousands of Australians who have suffered silently from some form of this nightmare, we can learn much about where the health system often fails individuals. Ideally, if all key stakeholders in the healthcare system take more responsibility for not just their personal health and wealth, but that of the nation too, we can potentially end up with a more efficient and sustainable healthcare system for us all to enjoy. One thing is clear: it is only through creating more community awareness in our society on the Medicare nightmare that we can increase our chances of alleviating the personal suffering and costs incurred by those unfortunate victims trapped in the Medicare nightmare, and reveal the hidden impact and costs these nightmares collectively have had on our society as a whole. A quote from the Medicare Nightmare, the Great Australian Tragedy. Being educated on avoiding the Medicare nightmare is not about having a contingency plan for every possible health condition, but about developing the necessary skills to analyse specific health information and ask the right questions when needed to make effective, timely decisions about one's personal health care. One thing is clear: we need to generate more constructive public debate on increasing the efficiency of our medical system in order to help thousands of Australians avoid excruciating disabilities, losses or even death as a result of being unable to make effective medical decisions in their life. Whether one works in the healthcare profession, government policy, education, health insurance, or is still a student, we are all key stakeholders in our medical system and thus contribute one way or another to its overall efficiency and success. We are all therefore responsible one way or another for our health system's successes or failures, whether we accept that responsibility or not. The Medicare nightmare links the oppression of women, disempowerment of health consumers, and the propagation of social injustice to inexplicit school curriculums which fail to teach students how to become health literate adults. Indeed, health literacy here is not just about comprehending and interpreting health jargon, but about being able to effectively utilize all resources that one has at their disposal to make the most effective health decision possible at any given time. It is also about teaching fundamental, critical research and literacy skills to a tech-savvy generation that is not afraid to search for health answers online, join online forums, and seek alternative therapies. We need to move beyond discussing medical errors, e-health systems, and hospital statistics, and instead empower health consumers to consider how these issues are intrinsically linked to information access and more effective decision-making by patients and their carers. If we further consider the links between government systems, we realise that the severe or ruthless cost-cutting in the public hospital system will only result in financial losses for all government systems, including tax, welfare and health. Ultimately, our education system is situated in an ideal position to empower future health consumers to make more informed health choices. The significant power imbalance between healthcare providers and consumers, and the lack of legal support for health consumers when things go wrong, means that the problematic access to quality information needs to be addressed in order to balance the unequal power in our health system. The book itself, Medicare Nightmare, can be used as an educational resource as it addresses key gaps in the Australian curriculum, proposes educational strategies that can be used, and provides a more comprehensive picture of our complex health system. Indeed, it is only through having a basic understanding of such issues that we as key stakeholders can all genuinely engage in the facilitation of more constructive public discourse on ensuring a more sustainable medical system, which in the end affects our national prosperity too. For more details on the Medicare Nightmare, the Great Australian Tragedy, please visit www.accelerateaustralia.net.au. Thank you for listening. Medicare Nightmare.